Hi everyone, my name is Jason Sigaili and I'm the animator for Development and Peace for Manitoba and Thunder Bay. On behalf of Development and Peace, the social justice organization of the Catholic Church here in Canada, I would like to greet all of you a very blessed and fruitful Catholic Education Week. I know this pandemic has been very difficult on many of us, especially for those of you who are in school right now. Many of you are learning from home, you've had to change things, teachers have had to modify things for you during this time, and it's been quite difficult. My heart and my prayers go out with all of you in solidarity. However, we are not going to let a pandemic stop us from learning and discovering more about our faith as well. We just have to become creative and also be optimistic and positive in our journeys. So I would like to share with all of you a couple of words in regards to the activity that you've all done for your virtual retreat. You've all just participated in this amazing activity of family farming. Now, many of you have probably learned about the difficulties through this experience of having property, of being a farm family, and having many things come along your way, such as climate problems, natural disasters that happen, other organizations or other companies that take advantage of your crops or of your field. There are so many different things that affect the people and the people who take care of the food that actually eventually get to our plate. So today I wanted to share very briefly with all of you a couple of really beautiful excerpts from two encyclicals from Pope Francis. The first one that I would like to share with you is from Laudato Si. So Laudato Si is Pope Francis's second encyclical, which was first released in 2015. And the subtitle for Laudato Si is On Care for Our Common Home. Now this encyclical is so beautiful. I've started reading it and have really gotten into it. And here Pope Francis really talks a lot about our irresponsibility when it comes to food, when it comes to nature, when it comes to the environment. And he also talks about consumerism and our environmental degradation and global warming as well. So many different topics that he talks about here in Laudato Si. The second document I would like to make reference to is Pope Francis's Fratelli, Tutti, which means all brothers. And it's inspired by the work of Saint Francis. Here Saint Francis, an Italian saint, really took care of everybody, really took care of the people, really took care and treated everybody like brothers. And that is what Pope Francis is really trying to call us to become and to be as well. This is Pope Francis's third encyclical, which was first released in 2020. And this encyclical was very much inspired from the pandemic, which we are all currently living right now. He talks about how the pandemic has really brought out a light in terms of things that we probably thought weren't problems that are actually still lingering problems in our society. And many of that has to do with the way how we treat our brothers and sisters, and in the way as to how we treat them, how our institutions must change in order to bring people to equality. So I would like to share some excerpts with you from the different paragraphs of these encyclicals, and hopefully this continues to inspire you, your prayers, and in your thoughts for the world as well. One of the paragraphs that I would like to share with you from Laudato Si is from paragraph 1 and paragraph 2. Laudato Si mi Signore, praise be to you, my Lord. In the words of this beautiful canticle, Saint Francis of Assisi reminds us that our common home is like a sister with whom we share our life, and a beautiful mother who opens her arms to embrace us. Praise be to you, my Lord, through our sister, Mother Earth, who sustains and governs us, and who produces various fruits with colored flowers and herbs. The sister now cries out to us because of the harm we have inflicted on her by our irresponsible use and abuse of the goods with which God has endowed her. We have come to see ourselves as her lords and masters entitled to plunder her at will. The violence present in our hearts, wounded by sin, is also reflected in the symptoms of sickness evident in the soil, in the water, in the air, and in all forms of life. This is why the earth herself, burdened and laid waste, is among the most abandoned and maltreated of our poor. She groans in travail. We have forgotten that we ourselves are dust of the earth. Our every bodies are made up of her elements. We breathe her air, and we receive life and refreshment from her waters. There's something so beautiful about the first 2 paragraphs from this encyclical. Here, Pope Francis really pulls beautiful images of this human relationship to the earth. This relationship that humankind has to the earth, and the relationship that the earth has to the beautiful creation of humankind. However, Pope Francis does mention that because of the things that we are doing, because of the industrialization, the inequalities that are caused onto this earth, in return, the earth also suffers the consequences that we have unfortunately given to her. And here Pope Francis redraws this beautiful image of this symbiotic relationship that earth has to humankind, and in the way that humankind has to the earth. The next paragraph that I want to share with you actually comes from Fratelli, Tutti. And this is from paragraph 18, where Pope Francis talks about a throwaway world. Some parts of our human family, it appears, can be readily sacrificed for the sake of others considered worthy of a carefree existence. Ultimately, persons are no longer seen as of paramount value to be cared and respected, especially when they are poor and disabled, not yet useful, like the unborn, or no longer needed, like the elderly. We have grown indifferent to all kinds of wastefulness, starting with the waste of food, which is deplorable in the extreme. Here Pope Francis talks about a lot of waste that is happening in our culture. Sometimes you can think about things that we have that we can easily throw away, whereas in other contexts in our world, everything is being used in value. And here Pope Francis is reminding us to be able to use everything to its fullest. Although it might not look useful to one person, we can definitely try to use our creativity to find different ways as to how we can fully use things that are given to us. I encourage you and I challenge you to be able to think about the activities that you've just done with the family farming activities, and to think about some of our partners or some of our farmers or people that work in agriculture in the global south. Now, for some of you that have probably been to the global south, you can see that poverty is very evident in some areas. Poverty exists there differently than it does here in the northern hemisphere, but nonetheless, these people are being taken advantage of and being deprived for the simple things that they are bringing into this world, which is their crops and their harvest. So I strongly encourage you to take the time to pray and to think about the different ways, again, that organizations or industrialization have an effect on the poor, and how we tend to kind of throw them away. We take what we need and we throw the rest of them away. We forget to give the dignity that these human beings deserve and need in order to create that brotherly and sisterly relationship with each and every single person, regardless of where they come from, regardless of what they make or produce, because as nature and humankind coexist, so does our relationship with one another. With all that being said, I strongly encourage you to continue reading, if you get a chance, Fratelli Tutti and Laudato Si. They're all also found online, so you don't have to purchase the books. So I encourage you to continue reading and to continue enjoying the rest of your Catholic Education Week. With that being said, thank you very much, everyone, and have a blessed and fruitful week.